Now, this is the pattern I'm going to be tying. This is a mixed hackle dry. I mean, I'd call them soft hackle dry. So between this there's a hen hackle and a cock hackle blended to give. The hen obviously is a grey colour, you can see, gives impression of the wing. The legs obviously the black, and the hopper obviously. Colour combination for Midge at this time of the year, can't go really far wrong with black and silver, black and peril or so. Many colours you can mix. The body's pheasant tail. As I say, it's a simple pattern to tie. Hook choice, it's entirely up to yourself. You could put a straight hook, curve hook, or in this case I'm using the full mill. It's the short shank special, size 12 in this case. The shank is equivalent to a 14, the gape's equivalent to a size 12. It's a nice hook, and this is the black version, which obviously suits the black fly. Thread I'm going to be using is a uni thread, 8/0 in black. Just going to wax it first, just run it through your fingers, or through the wax. You can feel the grip you get when you put the wax on the thread. Start just short of the eye, come down, make sure you've cut in the waste piece, trim it away. Now, a fine tinsel, a small tinsel, number 16. This is basically uni mylar, strong enough. We can then come round the bend of the hook. This will give the impression of the midge coming off as much as being on the surface. So we come round, and now I'm going to come up maybe 4 or 5 turns or so. Body, one of my favourite materials for a midge or bodies is the pheasant tail. This has been dyed black, so we bring out the fibres 90 degrees from the stem, then we can tear it away. Now we've got the root ends here, so we basically hold them, get it close to the shank of the hook, come round with a loose turn, and lightly pull in, keeping the thread reasonably tight so you're controlling it, into the tips, to there, and then we wind up to the round about thorax length from the eye, which is there. Now the pheasant tail fibre is the weakest fibre. Now we wind this towards ourselves, spread out the pheasant tail fibre and wind up. You see the type of body you get, it's absolutely perfect. And because the fibre gets thicker as you come up, you get that natural taper, plus with the 4 turns of the thread at the back will help taper the midge. So to lock this in, because we've wound the opposite way, we have to lock it in. So we come across the pheasant tail fibre with a turn onto the hook, do the same again, and that locks those 2 turns in and allows you to trim away the waste. Bring our rib up. Now you're looking around about 5 times or so, 5, 6 times. Nice and tight, wind it up. If you want to use wire or something a wee bit stronger, you can. I found the tinsel works really well, it's good enough. Just going to put wax on my thread here to make sure it's not going to move. Tidy that area. Now to give the impression of wing buds, I'm using Goose by it, dyed a hot orange. Just going to pull out 2. Just the tips are lined up. If you pull them out again, most times if you bring fibres 90 degrees from a stem of a feather, the tips will line up naturally and then you can tear them away. Now what I'm going to do here, get the thickness I want. Now it's too heavy down the bottom, so what I like to do is trim away and then cut the corners off. 1, 2, just check. To get a wee bit closer to my eyes. You can always trim these a wee bit better once they're on the fly. Now, I'm coming towards the back. Now you want to be able to see them. Now I'm just making sure these are lined up. Just tap them with your finger. From the top, with the natural curve of the back and into the body, you want to come down about 2 mil or so. As I say, I'd rather be long, because you can always trim them, than too short. Make sure they stay on the top, slightly come down the side, so you can move them around. You see, it gives a great impression of wing buds. You can, as I say, just take the corners off the top, Just show you once I do this side. Give it a better shape, and that's okay. Then trim this away. It's a simple fly to tie. Again, a wee bit of wax on your thread gives you that extra grip. And a good base of thread down for your materials. Legs, we've got the pre-knotted legs, pheasant tail legs. Now, depends, this size you could put 4 on, 4's fine. I'm going to put 3 either side just to stay the 6. There's one of them broken there, so I've got to compensate for that, you can see it there. So make sure, like we do before, 90 degrees from the stem, tips should line up, tear them away. Bring them in together. I'm going to basically take away that broken end which is there. And then we want 3 either side of the body. Just work them within your fingers. Just make sure they're apart. The same length, that one's just a bit short. Then lengthwise, you can have as long as short as you like, it's up to you. Quite happy with that length for that size of fly. Come round with 2 or 3 turns. See how they're sitting, because we can always go back. That looks fine. Trim away the waste. Again, a wee bit of wax on your thread. Just tidy this area up. So basically that's your thorax area. A bit of material there. Now, just using a cheap, this is a Chinese or Indian cock dyed black. Don't be too short with the hackle length, fibre length, especially the black. Midge or leggy type flies. Now I'm going to tie this in, not so much with the hackle fibres going forward, because I want this to hackle fibres to lay, kind of spread out. So I find tying it forward, like with the natural, or the shiny side of the hackle facing towards the eye of the hook. 2 or 3 turns in. Trim away the waste. Then I'll get a grey. This is a hen neck, it's a natural grey. Want the fibres slightly shorter than the cock hackle. Now what this does, it gives the impression of the wing, so it does. It's just a wee tad too short. That's a bit better. Take away the fluff, bear some of the fibres away. Again, make sure you wax your thread, it gives you that extra grip. Just come through, put a nice base of thread down with wax, so this will hold the stem as you wind. I'm going to use my hackle pliers just to wind down. When the good side or the front of the hackle facing again forward towards the eye, just quickly come through a couple of turns. Oops. If that happens, just go back. Tips sometimes break. Happy. 2 or 3 turns. Trim away. This here is enough to tie another fly, so don't throw that away. I'll just tidy this area up. Back to our hackle pliers. Again, just going to wind this through. Now, a couple of turns of the hen with the cock. Just want to use up 2 or 3 more turns. Again, if it breaks, it does happen. Just be patient with your hackles. Want this a very leggy light fly, and you can slightly overdress the fly because you can always remove fibre, you can't add it on once you've tied it. So like when I'm on the water, I like to be able to work with a fly. I can reduce the dressing, especially when it's a calm day. If it's a windy day, you need that wee bit extra, and you can get away with an extra weight in the fly or extra bit of dressing. Now I've taken away the tip, just draw it back, any fibres going forward. Just form a nice head with the thread. What I'm going to do here, to make it easier to varnish, is just to apply the varnish onto the thread about 1 centimetre from the eye, and then wet finish. Just forming a nice head. tighten up, and then trim away thread. Just bringing these fibres out a wee bit so you can see how it should sit. Now with the soft hackles, you can actually basically either trim away the underside when you're fishing it, but because they are soft, what they'll do is they'll sort of, the surface film will push these up and get a good imprint, a good impression on the surface, and the fish look for that. Now that's a basic midge pattern, hopper pattern, so you can experiment with colours, but this colour combination at the beginning of the season, you really can't go far wrong. So I hope you enjoyed that.